Okay, so you've just hosted a fantastic open day. The sun was out, the champagne was flowing, and all the couples were absolutely buzzing. But now what? How do you actually turn that great five into signed contracts? Well, today we're going to break down the structured system that really separates the pros from the amateurs, the system for converting all that open day momentum into solid, reliable bookings.
All right, let's kick things off with a story that I'm sure is going to sound familiar. The event is over, you're exhausted, but you're happy, and you're just waiting for those inquiries to start flooding your inbox. But then you hear nothing, just silence. And isn't this one of the most frustrating things for a wedding venue? You know the event was a hit. You had amazing conversations. You literally watched couples fall in love with your space. So why aren't the deposits hitting your bank account? Where did everybody go?
This, right here, is the absolute key. See, the real challenge isn't just about hosting a great event, it's all about what you do in the hours and days that come after. The hard truth is, the real work of securing that booking, well, it begins the second your last guest walks out the door. So why do those excited, super promising leads suddenly just go cold? It's probably not because they didn't love your venue. It usually comes down to some really basic human psychology. And, understanding this is the secret to building a follow-up system that actually works. Let's try to put ourselves in the couple's shoes for a second. They aren't just visiting your venue. Oh no. They're likely visiting 3, 4, maybe even 5 other places in a really short amount of time. And after a while, the beautiful floral arrangements, the different pricing packages, the friendly chats with suppliers, it all just starts to blend together into one big confusing blur. So how on earth do you break through all that noise? When everything starts to look and feel the same, the one thing that will make your venue stand out is a fast, professional, and really structured follow-up process. It immediately tells a couple that you are organized, you're on top of it, and you're attentive, which is exactly what they're looking for. Now, let's talk about the golden window of opportunity. The single most critical time frame in your entire follow-up process is the first 48 hours. That's it. This is when that emotional high from the open day is still fresh, and couples are actively, right then and there, making decisions. Think about it. A prompt follow-up within that 48-hour window makes you look like a total pro, and it keeps your venue right at the top of their mind. But if you wait any longer, you just risk coming across as disorganized. You let all that incredible positive momentum just fade away. You pretty much become just another forgettable line on their spreadsheet. Okay, so we've clearly identified the problem. Now let's get to the solution. A structured 7-step system that's designed to be your conversion engine, turning that initial interest into a definite confirmed booking. And when we say system, we're not talking about just firing off a random email when you have a free minute. No. We're talking about a playbook, a repeatable, strategic process where every single step has a purpose. It's all about guiding that couple smoothly from just looking to we're booked. Let's break down the first 4 steps. First up, you've got to segment your leads. A couple who's ready to book next month needs a totally different approach than one planning for 2 years from now. Second, personalize that first message. Mention something specific you talked about. It shows you were actually listening. Third, be honest about scarcity. If their favorite date is a popular one, letting them know creates urgency without being pushy. And fourth, and this one's huge, always give them a clear next step. Never, ever leave them wondering what they're supposed to do next. Okay, step 5 is where the system really comes to life, because one email is never enough. This sequence shows you how to keep providing value. So days 1 and 2, you send that personal thank you. Then around day 5, you send a reminder about availability and what makes you special. Day 14, you hit them with a powerful testimonial. This whole sequence keeps you on their radar for a month without being annoying. Now, step 6, this is a total pro move. Get your preferred suppliers involved. Just imagine a couple getting an email from a photographer they met at your open day, and that photographer is just raving about how beautifully your venue photographs. Wow, that kind of unified message builds incredible trust and reinforces the value of the whole package you offer. So now we have the playbook. Let's cover the final step, which is all about measurement, and then we're going to dive into the tools you need and the really costly mistakes you have to avoid to protect that hard-earned revenue. Right, the final piece of the puzzle, step 7, is all about the data. Look, professional venues don't guess, they measure. Are you tracking how many leads book a private tour? What's your final conversion percentage? Knowing these numbers is the only way you can tell if your system is actually working and where you can make it even better. And how do you track all this stuff? Simple, with a centralized CRM, a customer relationship management system. And let me be clear, this is not a luxury item. It is an absolute necessity. It's the safety net that makes sure follow-ups happen on time and that no hot lead ever slips through the cracks. So let's quickly run through the biggest mistakes that will absolutely kill your conversion rate. Sending just one generic, boring email, waiting a whole week to respond, forgetting to mention that popular dates are filling up fast. I mean, these might seem like small errors, but they are incredibly costly. Consistency across your whole team is everything. Okay, let's bring it all together. The big takeaway here is really understanding that critical link between the momentum you create at your open day and the process that has to follow. They are two halves of the same whole. Think of it like this. The open day is all about creating energy and excitement and momentum. It's about getting couples to fall head over heels with the possibility of getting married at your venue. That is its one and only job. But all that amazing, wonderful momentum is totally useless if you don't capture it. A structured follow-up system is the machine that takes all that energy and converts it into something real, a signed contract and a deposit in the bank. One without the other is just a massive wasted opportunity.
I want you to let this one really sink in. Venues that have a plan, a system, a repeatable process, they will always, without fail, outperform venues that just kind of sit back and react to inquiries as they happen to come in. It's the difference between being in control of your sales and just hoping for the best.
And that leaves us with one final, very important question for you to think about. I want you to take an honest look at your current process right now. Is it a real system that's built to convert? Or is it just a series of random actions? Because mastering this is what will truly turn your successful open days into a predictable, reliable source of revenue.